Here we are again, back in the academy. Quite a nice day outside, so we might do the next video from outside. But today, just going to do a little bit on weight movement. I've had a few people in last few days where they've kind of over-rotated in their backswing, and I think this is something I see a lot of. Again, a fairly common theme is over-rotation of, let's say, shoulders and body, but without actually creating anything. And I think this is the problem we have. I see too much, let's say, turn, and I know we've got to have turn in the golf swing, and people are scared of, I mustn't slide, and that is perfectly correct. We don't want any real slide if we can help it in our hips, but we have to have a slight kind of lateral slide with our top half, otherwise we're never going to be behind the golf ball. So one of the things, as I say, that I see fairly commonly, and I would say it tends to be probably more with the right shoulder, is I see almost an over rotation. And can you see, I don't know whether you can from where you are, obviously, but you can see how my right shoulder has almost gone past my left shoulder, and I've made too much turn there, full stop. I've almost gone past 90, and then we're into like 180 degree. Well, if I was flexible enough, we'd be into 180 degree. So what's happening, it's a bit like I'm really going to hit you, and the guy's standing there and he's going, hang on a minute, I've just got to turn a little bit more, and now I'm going to turn a bit more, and look how much effort I've made, and the other guy's standing there just going bang, and that's the end of that little fight. So don't do too much roundhouse, I think is the term we'd call it there. So what we want to try and do is make sure that we're not just turning for turn's sake. As you can see here, you can hear in my voice, really, I haven't really created any stretch there. It's just getting to a point where it's painful. But if I go this way, now immediately you can hear in my voice that I've got pressure in here. So one of the things I've done with a couple of guys recently is I've got them to start this way. Now, obviously, impact bag, you can see it's roughly a foot off the ground or in the air there. So my left foot is now off the ground. Now, as I set up, what that stops is it almost makes it impossible to over-rotate because I need to push my weight onto that left knee. So what it should do is as we swing back now, we should now start to feel that suddenly I'm on this foot. It's almost like I'm on that foot slightly to start with. So as I now create that turn, we can see the top half's moved across slightly, but this is now fighting, and I can now feel that nice pressure into that right leg. And let me tell you, I can feel it in my lower back there. So we're starting to create a much better stretch. This is across, and then we can try and replicate that obviously without the bag there, trying to create that same tight position here. And I think if we can start to create that non-turn or overturn, take that away from that position here, that overturn here, where we're kind of over-rotating right side, whatever it is, put the weight on here, move it back a little bit. If I set myself up here, and now already I can feel more planted in that right side. As I swing back here, I can't go too far. Now I have no idea whether I can hit it. Yes, I can. But I wouldn't advocate hitting balls with that under there. That's not what the drill's for. But what it's doing is it's just teaching you that feeling of being here. One of the things I like and a concept I think that I use a lot in my teaching with people is if we had the speed skater, and I don't profess to be able to skate at any speed, but that feeling of weight movement, moving across and then back again, that's kind of what that feeling will give you. Having that bag there almost sets me in that position here. And I spend so much time with people the other way, I'd almost rather see you a little bit more that way. Again, javelin, I always say. Javelin or guy in baseball. For my American guys here and girls, you've got that kind of plate where you push into, I think plate, and look at me looking at the term. And we've got this movement here. Again, there's a balance, but the top half is moving across to be able to go the other way. And if we just turned, we haven't got that same throw. So hopefully that makes sense. We want to just make sure we're solidly onto that right leg. Have a fantastic afternoon.